Thank you, Rick. That was lovely, as always. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I'm glad to be back in my church, and good morning to all the ships at sea. We're glad to have you, no matter how you get here. We've got special music with William Penn. We're glad to have you. We've got Maurita ready to roll here. And let's turn down our phones just in case, so they don't interrupt the service. And let's stand together and sing our first joy song.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm so glad to have you here, all of you, this beautiful day. It's beautiful because we have a little bit of rain, which that is what we needed. It's so wonderful to have also those who are looking at us on the internet. Welcome. Thank you for being here. You're important. We rejoice that there are others who can't make it to the room, to the sanctuary, but that are looking in and hopefully enjoying what they're doing. Well, I have a bit of a Bible quote here. It's said to have been said by Paul, and it's found in Acts, the 10th chapter. Oh, excuse me, not Paul, Peter. Peter. In solemn truth, I can see now that God does not discriminate between people, but that in every nation, the man who reveres him and does what is right is acceptable to him. Now that was a statement back in those days, because there were hatreds from the Jews and for the Jews. They hated the Romans. They hated around those tribes that lived around the holy places. They had no patience for those individuals. But here Peter is saying, no, they are people who are good. People who, when they follow the law that they know, are acceptable to God. They're equal to you. All is really well between, or should be well between you and them. Now, as I said, this was a time of great prejudice, but what a beautiful pearl of wisdom that was that Peter shared with them and with all of us. What can we do to bring that idea to our minds? Well, these days there is more separation between people than there has been in the past. And what we must do is, in our minds, follow Peter's advice. Reverence him who does what is right and is acceptable to God. Not only we think to ourselves, that couldn't possibly be acceptable to God, but we're not the judge. We're not the judge. We respect and revere them as other children of God. Shall we just go within for a moment and try to apply that idea to all the people whom we have a way of rejecting, to all those whom we actively dislike, to those people who are our bosses, taskmasters, and give to them the blessing of knowing that as you follow the one, the lesson of love, as you hear the words of Jesus, you are acceptable. You are in God's good graces. You are his beloved. We give thanks for that. And thanks for knowing that this is the truth of us and of them. And I thank you. Shall we say our statement of being? God is all, both invisible and visible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am the individualized expression of God and am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance.
How much I need you, must I explain? I need you, Lord, my Lord, like roses you make. And that will all on time. Glory comes. There you go. Glory comes. And melt my heart like fresh cut snow. I'll love you till the bluebell will hit the blue. I'll love you till the clover just looks at me. I'll love you tomorrow. Long time. Oh, the sun will come out tomorrow. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. Just think about tomorrow. There's the way the cobwebs and the sorrow. Till there's none. When I'm stuck with a day that's gloomy, I look by my chin and I smile and I say, oh, it's not about tomorrow. So you got to hang on till tomorrow. Come with me. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I'll love you tomorrow. You own the day. Away. Bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there'll be sun. There's a way the cobwebs and the sorrow till there's none. But I'm stuck with a day that's gray and gloomy. I stick out my chin, I smile, and I say, oh, it's not about tomorrow. So you got to hang on till tomorrow. Come one day. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I'll love you tomorrow. And you own the day. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I'll love you tomorrow. And remember, you own the day. Just one day away.
Thank you so much, William. That was lovely. Now it's time for what we call our healing meditation. Time when we just get still and allow the outer world to slip away. The feeling of the body to slip away. Just take a deep breath and allow our shoulders to go down, allow our feeling of relaxation to fill us. That sense of all is quiet, all is well. And then shall we declare that God is in charge. God is that silent, moving energy within my life. That blessing that has yet to be uncovered. That idea, that original thought that will be coming forth. That feeling of love for those around us. And that gratitude that we feel toward the love that comes to us. Oh, Father, in this moment of silence and quiet, how grateful we are for all the things, visible and invisible, that are due to your love and your activity right where we are. Feeling the quiet. Feeling the quiet within and without, and knowing that it's God's peace, God's quiet that we are sharing with Him, is something that fills us with a sense of gratitude and deeper peace. In the next 90 seconds, I invite you to allow that peace to fill you, to allow it to help you rest from your moments of concern or fear or irritation. Right now is the time of peace. If someone's name or face comes to mind, if an incident that has happened comes to mind, if something you've heard of comes to mind, put peace, God's peace, right there, starting right now. Come unto me, all ye who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest, a deeper sense of rest from anxiety or unhappiness or grief or irritation or upset. I will provide that layer between you and the world that will protect you, that will ease your concern. I will provide you with what you need. Trust me. Trust me. And all will be well. And for this we say, thank you, dear God. Shall we say the beautiful Nora translation of the Aramaic? Our Father who is everywhere, Your name is sacred. Your kingdom is come. Your will is throughout the earth, even as it is throughout the universe. You give us our needful bread from day to day, and you forgive us our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And you let us not enter into materialism, but you separate us from error, because yours are the kingdom, the power, and the song and praise from all ages, throughout all ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth. Amen. Well, this morning, what I'm going to be talking about is expectation. What do you expect? Well, a couple of weeks ago, I quoted a wonderful passage, one of my favorites, from Romans, the 9th chapter. And Romans means that Paul wrote this letter to the church in Rome. I want to just remind you of a couple of verses. First of all, in the King James translation. And then after that, I'm going to also bring in the Lambda translation. So this isn't going to be familiar because you heard it a couple of weeks ago. The earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. Creature? The Lambda translation is a good bit clearer. For the earnest expectation of all mankind waits for the manifestation of the sons of God. Another translation uses the words, the eager longing for the revealing of the sons of God. And still one more says, the creation stands on tiptoe for the revealing of the sons of God. Well, no matter how you translate it, it's absolutely clear that Paul firmly believed that we are all on the path to the fuller and ever fuller expression of our child of God nature. He wasn't alone. Jesus believed the same thing. John 14, he says, truly, truly, I say to you, he who believes in me shall do the works which I do, and even greater works than these will he do. Now, those words, he who believes in me, actually means he who believes as I do shall do the works which I do and greater. So, how did he believe? He believed, he knew that he was one with God. He knew that to the depths of his being. Not everyone who identifies as a Christian believes that they are one with God. But of course, this is a basic principle in divine science. If we believe in the omnipresence, of course we believe that God is within us, God is all around us, within all things. Sometimes that belief is sort of in process. It's gradually growing in us and on us. But when we begin to feel something within ourselves that says this to us, where we have some feeling about it, then some wonderful things begin to happen. The manifestation or the greater manifestation of our child of God nature becomes more and more evident. Our beliefs become mirrored in our acts, in our thoughts, in our behavior to ourselves and to other people. We absolutely can come to know, as Jesus knew, that I and my Father are one. We can come to know that, and life, of course, begins to change, and change in wonderful ways. We can expect that. In thinking about this time of year and the passages in the Bible about it, it gave me pause to realize that we really don't know the exact words of Jesus. Nobody was standing around taking shorthand. The New Testament depended on people's memory of what he had said and what he did. The Gospels weren't written by any of the apostles, they were uneducated men. The Gospels were written by men who must have interviewed the apostles. The Gospels were first written in Greek. Well, the apostles didn't know Greek, they only knew Aramaic. Furthermore, the apostles had to live longer than most people of that time if they survived their childhood, because the greater number of babies and children did not survive childhood. But the average after that, the average life expectancy was about 60 years of age. In addition, the apostles would have had to have had very, very good long-term memories. Mark, Matthew, and Luke were written between 70 and 90 AD. John was written between 90 and 100 AD. And not only that, we know for a fact that some of the things that were reported as Jesus' words were not quite accurate. We compare the Gospels with other accounts of Jesus' teachings, like the Gospel of Thomas, and we find some pretty real differences there. It's possible that still other translators later on might have changed Jesus' words, maybe just slightly. Of course, firmly believing that his beliefs and his behavior, his words, were more in keeping with what they believed. You know, I've thought that while we have reports of a lot of the things that Jesus said and things he did, we have absolutely no idea how he said them. What was the expression on his face when he said them? The meaning of what words come to you are completely changed when the expression on your face is changed, or the tone of your voice, or the emphasis you're putting on something. How you say something is very, very important. Now we read that in other people, but we can't read it through the Gospels. His relationship with those scribes and Pharisees seemed to be so impatient and angry, when the look on his face might have been a kind of puzzled amusement for all we know, which of course would have made them all the more upset with him. Do you remember the story of the 10 lepers that came to him and asked to be healed? And only one came back praising God? Jesus asked him, well, where are the other 9? And I'm certain he didn't ask because it would have been the polite thing to do, to come back and ask him, thank him and express their appreciation. What he, I think, was far more concerned about was that these men's appreciation of God's blessing connected with the hope that the rest of their lives would reflect their gratitude to God. He wasn't looking for some sort of appreciation for him because he was the conduit that God was working through. When I was in Catholic school, a phrase that I heard countless times was, a man of sorrow acquainted with grief. For the life of me, I cannot imagine him being somber, frowning, looking sorrowful. I really, really think that he was smiling and friendly. He was warm and kind. He was effusive in what he was saying and filled with love. And it showed. He must have had a dynamic, magnetic personality. But what pictures do we see of him on the cross? I have a picture of him as a blonde man with blue eyes. Now, That was not him at all. The fact was that he was a Semitic, and he looked a Semitic with his beard and dark hair. What I do like, however, is another picture I have of him. That, I believe, is the true Jesus. A man of laughter and love, a man of compassion and connection with other people. You know, he had to have had a magnetic personality. When he first met the brothers at Simon and Andrew, he was walking along the Sea of Galilee, and of course they were fishermen, they were there perhaps tending their nets, who knows. But these men had wives, they had homes, they had children, they had business, a fishing business, and they looked at Jesus and he said to them, "Follow me and I'll make you fishers of men." And they turned their backs on everything they had or had done, and they followed him. I'm sure their wives weren't very pleased about that, but the master's presence was so compelling, the brothers couldn't say no to him. Jesus saw a man called Matthew at the custom house collecting taxes for the Romans. And Jesus just said to him, "Follow me." And Matthew got up and followed him. People flocked to him like bees to honey. The average man of his time was like 5'5". That was the average of the people of that time, the men, that is. According to the Shroud of Turin, if you believe that it really was the death shroud of Jesus, shows that he was between 5'10" and 6'2". Just his stature would have drawn people's attention, would have brought respect to him. But can you imagine how a person might have felt when he just looked at them, their eyes met? Or when he spoke to them, he looked around and he caught everybody's eye. It must have been magical. He obviously, very obviously, was a prophet and a psychic. He was able to control all sorts of natural events. He was a great teacher, and he was most especially a healer. And goodness knows many of them needed physical healing at that time. But all of them needed an example of love in action. All of them needed to hear spiritual truth, to hear the truth of themselves. "Ye are the light of the world," he said. Can you imagine how these conquered people under the thumb of Rome must have felt when he said that? Jesus admitted that the common people just really didn't understand all his teaching. They might have caught a little bit here and there, but he had to explain the meaning of what he said to his disciples. But just his presence, what he gave to those crowds of himself, must have been an unforgettable moment. Their greatest expectation of him was that he would become their king. Who could be better? Who could be better? And of course, it was the Pharisees' greatest fear that he would become king. But becoming king was the last thing that Jesus wanted. Jesus' expectation was his full return to God. Now, we know people who have had near-death experiences and who've experienced the love of God. And they never want to leave that presence. when they're told they have to go back because their work isn't through in the three-dimensional world, they refuse. They say, no, no, they argue. God's presence and his love is so wonderful, they don't want ever to leave it. There are no words that can describe it, that can convey the feeling of God's love. They never want to leave it. And certainly, they never fear death again. Never. Actually, they look forward to it. According to Jesus' own words, he was experiencing that love on an ongoing basis. But to experience it completely, of course, he had to leave the physical body. We're told that Jesus told his disciples that he was going to go to Jerusalem and die there. Three different times in each of the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Jesus tells the apostles about his coming death in Jerusalem. He repeats the bad news over and over again, and I imagine that he's told them very gently, very kindly. Somehow, the apostles can't hear it. Somehow, they can't believe it. But their hearing has got to be wrong. He's so powerful, he's so wise. He helps so many people, he's so unique and so much loved. They're afraid, actually, to ask him for more details about his future death. But he keeps trying to forewarn them. His prophecy of what is going to happen, the details of his arrest and what follows, changes a little bit from one gospel to the next. Sometimes his suffering at the hands of the elders and the high priests and scribes is mentioned. Sometimes it is not. While this news gives his feelers a feeling of dread in the backs of their minds, Jesus knows that his death is going to release him to that total, indescribable, wondrous experience of God, of oneness with God and his love. It will give him a freedom that was unavailable while he was still in a human body. He will have fulfilled his destiny. He will give the world a brand new way to live life, to approach other people, to view themselves. Indeed, the creation stood on tiptoe on the revealing of this amazing, wonderful Son of God. Shall we go with him and give thanks for this amazing man, gifted in every way possible, and using those gifts to help others, to bring others to the point where they could hear his lesson of love, his lesson of their importance to God. Oh, he did so much. He affected the whole history of humankind. His words have resonated in good people and not so good people. The not so good people, hearing his words, would have become better. And those who already heard his words would try harder to put those words into thought and action. For this marvelous man, for Jesus of Nazareth, for God's gift to us through him, we give deepest thanks. down.
I'd like to dedicate this song to a dear friend of mine, close member of this church, Maurita Wiggins. We taught me a lot, and he's got a birthday coming up here, April 9th. Right? And we had a Northwest Jazz Band. He never let me get away without singing this song. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun's been shining. So stop your crying. So stop your crying and be happy again. So keep on smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles with you. When you're laughing, the sun can shine. When you cry, rain on me, stop the sun, be happy again. Keep on smiling, the whole world smiles. When you're crying, you rain on the rain. So stop your sighing and be happy once again. So keep on smiling. When you're smiling, the whole world smiles. The whole world smiles. The whole world smiles with you.
Thank you so much, William, for remembering my husband. God bless you.
You're ready.
Shall we have the blessing of the gifts? We receive so many gifts all the time, and we scarcely notice them. But without them, we would suffer. We would certainly not enjoy life as much. But with the gifts, life becomes so much more complete, and we have so much to be thankful for. As we receive, however, we need to give, and we give thanks to all of you for your kind gifts to our church, which helps us to keep going. Shall we say this prayer together? Today, I acknowledge God, omnipresent, as the source of all good, as the source of my good. With this acknowledgement, I accept God's will, which is abundance in every aspect of my life. I release all thoughts of lack and limitation, and I am open and receptive to the increased flow of abundance to me right now. I joyfully accept the gifts of life and give freely of the special gift that I am. Through me, God omnipresent blesses and multiplies this gift for all. Thank you, dear God. Have some announcements?
Good morning. Kind of loud. Okay, new sound system's working good, I guess. Okay, first things first. I hate to do this. Birthday Sunday. And the only birthday in April is me. So, how did that happen? I don't know. So, and Eddie, of course, and thank you for saying that. I remember so much every time that jazz band played here, they used to play on Friday or Saturday night when I first started coming here. And that they played, yeah. So thank you for doing that. Thank you. So let's sing happy birthday to you. Thank you. Thank you. And the flowers today are sponsored by Ann for my birthday, and they are beautiful. So thank you, Ann. Thank you so much. And I just want to say thank you to every one of you all for being part of my life. You know, I've been here 28 years, and I've seen people come and go, and some of you have stayed. But it's been great friendships, and I love every one of you. So thank you for being part of my life. That's my birthday present. So thank you all for being here. So going forth, we got some Easter announcements. We are going to have Good Friday service, 7 p.m. We are on Good Friday, and we're sharing the service with MCC. So it'll be at 7 o'clock. They're having a sunrise service. I'm not sure of the time yet. I'm going to check with Rhonda, but I'm thinking it's going to be at 7:30. I mean at 7 o'clock, but I think the sun's already up. So I'll check on that and make sure. And then we'll have a regular service at 10:30 here on Easter Sunday. Anything else about Easter that I missed? I don't think so. Hopefully not. Also coming up, we have some other things going on coming up in the next few months. We'll have a dinner out in May. It's going to be at the Green Goat. I'm thinking it's the 16th or 17th, but I will get that out to you. So hopefully people can come out and join us like they did at Montana's. We had a really good time. Also coming up in May, Maurita will be doing a meditation class. Not sure of the date yet, but she'll start that. Also coming up in June, Douglas will be teaching the principles class. So anybody that's interested in doing either one of those, especially if you're doing the principles class, let us know because we need to order your book if you don't already have it. A lot of us already have that book, and we've taken the class several times, and we will like to take it again. So anyhow, we'll get the dates on that as soon as Doug gets with me, and we'll figure that part out. Also coming up, as we announced before, we're going to start having some guest speakers along the way coming up this following year, and some of them will be divine science ministers, some will not be. And also at some point, I'm going to get congregation members to do like they did before, to tell their story as how they got to this church and what it's done for them. So keep that in mind that we may be calling on you to do a little speech. So, and everybody can do that. Let's see, what else have I missed here? Well, you've got some events coming up, and we'll be talking about those later on. We'll have something coming up probably in July to celebrate the 4th of July with the whole neighborhood, hopefully. So that's all in the works. So got a lot of things going on. We also are going to try to plan a work day in May or June before it gets really hot to do some outside work that needs to be done out here. So did I miss anything? I hope not. Good grief. So, okay. The other thing is that I will be gone for the next 2 weeks. So I have never been gone from here for Easter. So everybody have a nice, joyful Easter, and I will see you when I get back in 2 weeks. But anyhow, I hope everybody has a good time. Also, I wanted just to say that as I do every week, remember the ones that are not here and the ones that are not feeling well or whatever their problems are. And we talked about this in the board meeting, everybody in here is going through some kind of struggle. No matter, they may come in here smiling all the time, but they're going through struggles. So please, please be kind to people and love them, and just know that they're all going. One little word of kindness or a smile can make a difference in their day. So just keep that in mind, okay? All right, let's move on. Sing.
Thank you, Jan, and happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Shall we do our prayer of protection? Well, we all know that the world is in very bad shape right now. People are very frightened, people are hurting, people are fearful, not just in our own country, but around the world. In our country, we have many agencies that can help us, other places do not. And so we say this prayer with our hearts for those who need it, and they're all around the world. The whole family of man needs it, if not right now, then in the past and in the future. Say this prayer with a feeling of compassion and praise for God's help. Together, the light of God surrounds you, the love of God enfolds you, the power of God protects you, the presence of God watches over you, the mind of God guides you, the power of God abides in you, the strength of God renews you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well. Now, shall we say, or rather sing our closing prayer?